How y'all doing today? Today we're gonna make some beef stew, and I'm gonna be using this sirloin steak. It's 1.39 pounds, and we are gonna chop it up into about 1-inch cubes or so, and trim this fat right here off of it. You could use a chuck roast and cut it up, or you could buy stewed meat that's already cut up at the store, whatever you prefer. I got it all chopped up in about 1-inch cubes. I just trimmed, all the hard fat and everything off of it. And I'm going to go ahead and season it with a little bit of pepper. All over it. Get some pepper all over it. And some salt. Sprinkle it all over it. And just going to toss it around. Make sure all sides get coated with it. Now I have a 5.5 quart Dutch oven. I'm going to heat it up over about medium-high heat. I'm going to add in a couple tablespoons of, I'm using canola oil. Bet you can use any kind of oil you want. We'll let that heat up. Now our oil has heated up. I'm going to add in half of this for now. We're going to do this in batches. That's about half of it, so we're going to let it cook for a few minutes. Let it get good and brown, then we're going to flip it. Go ahead and flip it and see what it's looking like. See, we're getting some nice color on that meat right there. That's what you want. Let it cook for a couple more minutes on that side. Now our meat is nice and brown, so go ahead and pull this batch out. Put it in this bowl right here. And we'll start adding our second batch and do the same thing to it. Okay, so our second batch is done. You can see that nice brown color right there. That's what you're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Alright, see all that? Nice flavor in the bottom of that pan. And that's why you want to do your meat in batches. That way you can get it good and brown. If not, it'll just steam in there. Turn the heat down to about medium low. And this is a whole sweet onion that was about medium size. And I just sliced it up like that. And you can slice it up, however you want. And I'm going to throw it in there. You can also use any kind of onion. I just prefer sweet onions, so I usually always use those. So I'm just going to let these cook, sweat down, and probably caramelize a little bit. Pick up all that stuff off the bottom of it. This is our onions after about 5 minutes of cooking. You can see how it's picked all that stuff off the bottom of it, all that flavor, and it's soaking into them onions. We're going to keep cooking these onions for a little bit longer. Onions have been cooking for about 10 minutes, and right there is what they look like. Looking good. There's a couple ways you can do this, but I'm going to show you all the way I'm doing it today because I just want to make it simple and easy so everybody can cook it. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and add in the meat with all the juices that you had in the bowl. And I'm going to add in, this is 2 cups of water for right now. And I'm adding, I'm using Better Than Bouillon beef base. I'm going to add in a tablespoon of that. And some Worcestershire sauce. We're going to add in about a teaspoon or tablespoon or so of that. And I'm going to add in about a teaspoon or so of garlic powder. And heck, I'll go ahead and add in a little more pepper. We seasoned the meat with some pepper, but we'll go ahead and add in some more. And you can add, any other kind of seasonings you want to. You can add some herbs in there, some rosemary, thyme, whatever. I'm going to give this a stir, and I'm going to bring it up to a boil. It is starting to come up to a boil, so I'm going to cover it. Turn it on low, and I'm just going to let it simmer for about an hour or so until the meat gets, starts getting nice and tender. It has been about an hour or so, and our meat is starting to get nice and tender. Now I'm going to add in baby carrots. This is a 16-ounce bag, and I put them in this thing right here, and I rinsed them off. Go ahead and add them in. We're going to be adding some taters too, but you can put the carrots in there and let them get a little bit of a head start. Stir them around a little bit. Put the lid back on. Let the carrots cook for probably about 15-20 minutes. So the carrots have been cooking in there for about 15 minutes. And then what I have here is 5 russet potatoes. Just peeled and diced them up like that. And dump them in. Give them a little mix. Mix them up in there. Put the lid back on. Let them simmer until the taters are tender. Taters have been in there for about 30 minutes and they are nice and tender. So now what we're going to do here is I got a half of a cup of water and I got 2 spoonfuls of cornstarch I mixed up real well. We're going to pour this in there because we want a nice thick gravy because this is a stew. So get that in there. We got a few more things we got to add too. This is 8 ounces of button mushrooms I'm going to add. I left some of them whole and then I chopped some of them in half, some of the bigger ones. And I washed them off. Also going to add in some frozen sweet peas. This is a 12-ounce bag. I'm going to add in about half of it. And just mix all that around. Get it all incorporated in there real good. I'm just going to cover it back up, let it cook for about another 10 minutes until the mushrooms are nice and cooked. It's been about 15 minutes later, and it is done. There it is, looking mighty fine. Here it is, let's try it out. See how it is. Still hot. Piece of bread too. It's mighty fine, y'all. If you like, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.